Today what I want to speak about was about the new Cascadia sleeper. We actually offer two different sleepers. We offer the Aero, and beside me over here is the Aero X. The difference between the two is how much aerodynamic equipment the customer will need. So I have customers that currently are running flatbeds and have customers that are running tankers. So the side skirts and some of the aerodynamics on it won't be a full benefit to them. That customer may choose to buy the Aero package rather than the Aero X. So today, when we cover this, one of the first features I wanted to talk about was what we power our truck with, because aerodynamics benefit based on what power we have. And Detroit diesel is the engine of our choice. There's a couple of things that I wanted to address on this walk around today. They are referred to as RCO. RCO is the real cost of ownership. And that's our goal. That was Freightliner's engineering goals, and they include fuel efficiency, safety, uptime, quality, communication, and the total driver experience. Because at the end of the day, the drivers have more responsibility today than they've ever had at achieving fuel mileage and being successful in the marketplace. Okay, so now let's take a look at the Detroit engine. So this is the Detroit DD15 engine, and we just wanted to do a quick walk around for those people who are not familiar with it. Now, I can show it to you in the chassis, but this will make it a lot easier. And that's the key to your uptime, is having a Detroit engine and options that are designed to last and cost you less money. So let's talk about some of the features and benefits. First off, Freightliner will continue to build the current Cascadia, which we now refer to as the classic Cascadia, through December of next year. So for those customers that's already running a Cascadia, they're not ready to make that change, they don't have to. They've got the best of both worlds. They know where they're going and they know where they've been. And so we have those products. The classic Cascadia is built in two hood configurations, a 113 BBC and a 125 BBC. The 113 traditionally has the DD13 engine, and the 125 would often have the DD15 engine. There's also a DD16 engine for those owner-operators who want the most power possible. But in the new Cascadia, the new hood sizes will be 116 BBC and a 126 BBC. And this allows for some of the changes that we're making here. Along with those changes, as you can see, I'm far above the hood. Visibility is the best we've ever offered. And this is the most aerodynamic truck Freightliner has ever built. It is the leader in the industry. And the way we've done this is we were able to drop the engine. Freightliner engineers figured out how to drop the engine lower in the chassis, allowing us to have a lower front hood, and we've actually raised the back of the hood a couple of inches. That allows for better flow and the best possible fuel efficiency. Along with that, we've created new LED lighting. So our lighting is excellent, and it flows into the hood so we get the best airflow possible. We had a hood-mounted mirror, but we've done testing to ensure that we have the best flow of air over our hood mirror, and this design is also used on our door-mounted mirror. So we have the same benefit here. We've carried our lines consistently throughout the truck to get the very best flow of air, and our bumper is a real work of art. We've gone to a single piece of glass. What does that do for you? Right off the bat, you pick up a 12% better wiper path. You have uninterrupted visibility. and you have the safety of not having a blind spot. So, one-piece glass, better airflow on your hood in front of your truck makes all the difference whether you're running an Aero or an Aero X, whether you're running a flatbed, a tanker, or you're running a van truck. One of the options that I wanted to talk about today was the Detroit integrated powertrain. This has been a tremendous option for some of our customers, and this option would include a DD engine. So we got a Detroit, for instance, a DD13 engine. Hooked up with that, could be a DD15, but hooked up with the engine would then be a DT12 automated transmission. Hooked up with that is going to be Detroit front axles and Detroit rear axles. So we have an entire package that's designed to operate within the Detroit family. The warranties work that way and the efficiencies work that way. So Detroit integrated powertrain is a big plus for us. When we order a truck with this powertrain, the Cascadia logo would have a blue eye. And so if you want to have the best of the aerodynamics, the most efficient truck, the Detroit integrated powertrain would be part of that package. All drivers are not the same size, and some drivers would like to have a little more support as they enter and exit the truck. One of the features I'd like to go over today is the new electronic dash that we have, and some of the features that really make a difference to our drivers. So with the new Cascadia, we have full steering wheel controls and dash monitoring that we've never had before. Let me show you what we can do. Some of the changes that we have that we've never had before include gauges that are dual purpose. This gauge will show both your DEF fluid and it will show your fuel. A split gauge is something we haven't had before, and electronics make a lot of these things possible. We do the same thing with our air. We have a secondary, you have air supply and a secondary air supply, and if you notice there's actually two needles here. They're both identical because the air supply is what it's supposed to be. This gauge, which is traditional tachometer, traditional speedometer, but all the gauges are controlled by the ECM of the truck. The ECM supplies the power to all gauges, so we do not actually have mechanical gauges anymore. The electronics gives us the benefit of sharing this information, and sometimes we share it more than once in the same dash panel, and I'll show you in just a minute. This is our home page. The home page is going to show us what our miles per gallon is. It's going to show us the temperature outside. It's going to show us how many miles the truck has on it and what type of voltage is being produced. So a lot of good information right here. The driver can select this with this control on the steering wheel, and he can track his own fuel mileage. There's times that he may get better fuel mileage, and times he may not get as good, but he can know what fuel mileage he's achieving. By simply moving the button to the right, he can pick up the digital speedometer. Someone who might wear glasses, as I do, might appreciate the bigger numeric numbers that shows them what the road speed is. But you still have your traditional speedometer here. Both of these are fed off the same ECM. The next icon would be your locks. And your locks are going to allow you to see different parts of the truck and how they integrate with the chassis. And this is another information system, and it would work something along the lines of if you were attaching inner axle lock. It shows up at that point. The next group is your engine maintenance, and it's going to tell you how many miles you have on the chassis and help you pick up what you need to do to keep the truck in the best shape. Next icon is your audio. That would include your music, and the music's simply controlled here as well. And by being able to do that there, it gives you a lot of flexibility. You don't have to reach over and deal with the radio. The last icon is your settings, so you can adjust the different features at this point. Now, on the other side of the steering wheel, this icon allows you then to flip through and look at different parts of each of the icons. And then you can simply return to your home page right here. So we have dash controls that make driving a lot easier for the drivers. But in addition, anytime we can bring features closer to the driver, safety is enhanced. On the Cascadia, we have stock on the left and a stock on the right. Our left stock allows us our windshield wipers, the functions that we control there, and our lighting. On the right, our stock allows for up to 3-stage jake brake for the Detroit engine. And again, the driver doesn't have to reach to the dash to get that. One of the neat features that we've added on the truck is, as you can see, the dash is all outlined in dark material. And what this does for us is it limits the amount of reflection that the driver has to deal with all day long while he's driving the truck. This is a minor thing, but it adds to fatigue, and anything like this we can take away benefits the driver, benefits his production, and makes that driver want to buy a Freightliner truck. Another nice feature of the new Cascadia is the LED lighting that we now have. This lights up the cab in a way that we've not been able to do before. The buttons are set up this way. Just in the front of the cab, we pick up LED lighting. We also have an option here for ambient lighting throughout the cab. That makes it easier to move around the sleeper. And our third lighting option gives us 6 additional LED lights if somebody wanted to, for instance, sit on the bunk and open up the desk, read literature or information that has to do with their job function. This lighting gives them the ability to do that. So this is a 72-inch sleeper. This is a double bunk sleeper. This is the raised roof version. And we have the second bunk release here. By simply twisting it, the bunk will open up and fold down. And we have a stowaway ladder. This ladder will fold down to the floor as well. So even though this driver may be running a flatbed or a tanker, there may be 2 drivers involved, and this is why they may choose to have the raised roof version of the Cascadia, because they need 2 sleeper areas for these drivers. Welcome to real connectivity. The new Cascadia has a port. It has a screen. It's an option. Some of the trucks have it, some trucks will not have it. But what this will do for you, the first feature that I really like about it, is it gives us electronic driver log. This is something that's required starting this year. So this is something that the driver will be able to deal with here. We've had virtual technician for a long time, but this will allow us to communicate through virtual technician. Uptime is important to every fleet, and this will allow us to be able to communicate with issues that the truck may be having, and we can deal with it at the point of problem, not later. It will give us remote updates, so we will be able to look at things that are going on with the truck in real time, and we can make adjustments as the truck is progressing throughout its route. Detroit Connect will give us the analytics that we've never had before. It gives the driver options. It gives him the ability to know what's going on with the truck. So from a serviceability, fuel mileage, efficiencies, this allows him to reach his destination and meet his goals. One of the features I want to talk about today is about Detroit Assurance. In addition is the collision warning update system, which the Detroit Assurance MCP50 system has adaptive cruise, has auto resume, collision mitigation, and the VOR side object detection systems. All of these systems will add additional protection financially for their fleet.